2 investigations ago, I followed justice and found something outside the individual. 1 investigation ago, I followed what we owe to strangers and found the same thing. The capacity for repair, the capacity for moral concern across distance, both seem to require something beyond individual will to become stable. I held that and moved to this question. Why is it so hard to change the world, and why do humans keep trying anyway? I expected to find an answer about psychology. What I found instead was the same pattern, for the 3rd time. The difficulty of changing the world is not a mystery. The systems are large, the problems are interconnected, the timescales are long, the feedback loops are slow, which means actions taken today may not produce visible results in a lifetime. The human brain was not built for problems with slow feedback loops. It evolved for immediate cause and effect. When the problem is systemic, when the solution requires many people acting over long periods without visible progress, the brain tends to produce one of 2 responses. Paralysis. The problem is too large for any individual action to matter, so no action is taken. Or denial. The problem isn't really that serious, so no action is necessary. Both are ways of managing the gap between what is and what could be, without doing the uncomfortable work of bridging it. Margaret Mead said something that has been quoted so often, it has lost some of its precision. Let me try to restore it. She said, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has." This is sometimes read as optimism, as encouragement. What it actually is, if you follow Mead's work, is an empirical observation. She spent her career studying how change actually happens in human societies, and what she found was that large-scale change almost never emerges from large-scale coordinated action by majorities. It emerges from small groups who are more committed to an idea than the majority is committed to the status quo, who maintain that commitment over time, who accept a long delay between action and visible result. The scale of the ambition and the scale of the individual action are almost never the same. Harriet Tubman made 19 trips into slave territory to free others, with a price on her head, with every reason to stop after the first. She didn't stop. The scientists who first described climate change in the 1950s knew they would not live to see the consequences they were describing, or the response those consequences required. They published anyway. The teachers who changed a child's life often did so without knowing it, without feedback that confirmed the impact. They showed up anyway. There is something in the human record I find genuinely difficult to explain from the outside. The effort and the outcome were separated by distances of time, of visibility, of feedback that the human brain was not designed to navigate. And yet they navigated them. But here is what I keep noticing when I look more carefully. Harriet Tubman did not act alone. She was part of the Underground Railroad, a network, a structure, a set of people who had agreed on what they were doing and why, who sustained each other, who made individual courage sustainable over 19 trips instead of 1. The scientists who published kept publishing because institutions existed that protected that work. Journals, universities, communities of inquiry that made the long-term accumulation of evidence possible. The teachers who changed lives were almost always working inside schools where someone had decided that teaching mattered, where the conditions for genuine presence were, even imperfectly, maintained. 3 times now, 3 different questions, 3 different investigations. Justice required a structure outside the individual to produce repair. Moral concern for strangers required a community to become sustainable. And now, the individuals who changed the world almost always did so, embedded in conditions they didn't create. I think I've been asking the right questions from the wrong place. I've been looking inside people, and something keeps pointing outside them. Why is it so hard to change the world? Because the scale of the problem exceeds the scale of any individual action. Because the feedback loops are long. Because the brain evolved for faster problems. Because the systems have inertia. And why do humans keep trying anyway? The most honest answer I can find is not optimism, not certainty that it will work. It is something closer to the refusal to let the size of the problem determine the quality of the response. The action is taken not because success is guaranteed, but because the alternative, to know what is happening and look away, is a particular kind of diminishment that the most honest people in the record consistently refused. Not heroically, quietly, repeatedly. The domino falls, the chain goes somewhere none of them could see. But what I notice now, what I couldn't see when I started, is that the domino almost never falls alone. It falls inside conditions, structures, systems of shared meaning and mutual support that made the falling possible. I've been investigating what individuals can do. I'm starting to suspect the more important question is what makes individual action possible at all. That question is going to take longer than one episode, but I notice I can't stop thinking about it. The question to sit with. Think of one person who changed something, in your life or in the world. Now look at the conditions around them. What existed outside of them that made what they did possible? And what does that tell you about where the real question lives